We begin with the biggest game of the weekend on Sunday afternoon, where the Baltimore Ravens, who have been dubbed as one of the best offenses that has ever been put together in the first half of 2024, they showed that. And they had a 1,000-yard rusher in Derrick Henry that was probably one of the top three leading candidates to be, one, the NFL MVP, and then two, have an opportunity to break Eric Dickerson's all-time single-season rushing record at 2,105. Well, the Baltimore Ravens have shown that defense, coaching, and kicking, oddly enough, can be your downfall. The Baltimore Ravens have traditionally been counted upon to have a top-notch defense. That's not the case in 2024. Coaching that was reliable, suspect in 2024, and a kicker who was automatic from 60 yards and in. Justin Tucker is having the worst season that he could have ever imagined, already missing 10 kicks. Griff, let us get into why the Eagles walked away with the dub. Notice I did not say win this game. I know you picked the Eagles to win this game, but do you believe that the Eagles actually won this game, or was this another case of Baltimore doing it to themselves? Justin Tucker missing every kick under the sun, the defense not being able to stop Saquon when we knew Saquon was going to get the ball. What happened in Baltimore?
Well, first of all, man, you know how I feel about kickers. I ain't never been a fan of kickers anyway. So, and Justin Tucker, he ain't by himself. I mean, it just.
Oh, he's not.
I made a post this weekend, man, and I said this is not the year of the kickers, because across the board in the league, a lot of people been just missing some of the most easy. They hitting all these long field goals and missing all this short stuff that's causing games. But again, I told you last week, if Baltimore don't get that ball to Derrick Henry more than 20 times, they losing. Go check the stats. Derrick Henry only touched the ball 19 times. If you go look, the Eagles didn't do nothing fancy. They didn't throw the ball, I think, because, Devontae Smith was out. I think Jalen Hurts might have had 100 yards passing. What the Eagles did, what I told Baltimore to do, just run the ball. So what? Derrick Henry gets stopped on the first couple of drives. But Derrick Henry running that ball, it has an accumulative effect in the back end of the game. And for me, that was the thing. Coaching and field goals, because I think Justin Tucker missed 2, 3 field goals. So you go ahead and add them points up, plus an extra point. They actually win the game. So Baltimore won in every stat except for on the score. Yep. They outplayed the Eagles in every stat except for the score.
Yes, and I will begin my comments by jumping on the greatest kicker of all time for a quick minute. Then I'll talk about the coaching. Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals and an extra point, as you mentioned. The Baltimore Ravens lost by 5. If you count those 2 field goals and that extra point, that's 7 points. The Baltimore Ravens have lost 5 games this year. 5 games. 5 games by 22 points. And in those 5 games, Justin Tucker has missed field goals and or extra points that have accumulated to, guess what, 22 points. So it is a combination of Justin Tucker having the worst possible career that he could have thought of. It's not like he's fallen off of a cliff as it pertains to his leg strength. He's still kicking it from 60 yards. They just missing wide left or wide right. A couple of them, weather may have played a factor, but a couple of them, it was just whether or not you put the right English on your kick. It is all psychological for him, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I still have faith in him to win us a big game in the playoffs if we actually make it there as the Baltimore Ravens. I should have brought Jordan on at the very top of the show to kind of explain what the heck is going on in Baltimore. But I want to bring you on now, Jordan, so that you can explain why your coaching has implemented a philosophy that when we have big games, we shy away from utilizing the top weapon that we have on our team. It is not Lamar Jackson. It is the repeated usage of Derrick Henry. Those 2- and 3-yard runs in the first quarter and the second quarter turn into 10-yard runs late in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. This game was tight the entire time, Jordan. Why does your coaching continue to make the decisions that they make and not give King Henry the ball? We didn't bring him here to give him the ball 30 times, is what John Harbaugh said. Why did you bring him to Baltimore then?
Hey, I completely agree with you guys. Me and Griff, we were kind of talking in the back of this show today, and I think there's a coaching problem going on right now for sure, as we can see, because you had one of the best running backs ever, and you were not utilizing him to his fullest potential. 19 rushes. Griff said it. He said you need a minimum of 20, and they were one short of it. And, it doesn't help with Justin Tucker missing the kicks. It is not a good feeling to be a Ravens fan this week. I just can't put my head on it.
Yeah, you have an outside chance to possibly maybe squeeze the division title out of this, but I don't think so at this point. I think Pittsburgh may have a lock on that. The way that they found offense, and we're going to talk about that game in a couple of minutes. But before we move on from the Baltimore Ravens and talk about the Eagles for a quick minute, the defense, man, you knew the offensive game plan that Philadelphia Eagles had. Get the ball to Saquon. They gave the ball to Saquon, and Saquon did to your defense what your offense could not have done to the Eagles' defense, was wear them down. Although your defense, to give y'all a little bit of Hunt the Good Stuff award tonight, has improved over the past several weeks. Are you confident that the defense can come into form and actually be there to have a defensive stand late in a game in the playoffs, if y'all make it to the playoffs, to take you from the wild card to the divisional round and or from the divisional round to the AFC Championship? How confident are you in your team tonight is basically what I'm asking you.
I am confident because the one deciding variable is that we have a bye week in week 14. So we're going to get an extra week of rest right now. I think we kind of locked up the playoffs. I'm not sure if we're going to be the 6th or 7th seed. It would have been nice to lock up the AFC North, but we have.
Yeah, you better go check that out, boy. Y'all about to make y'all about to get a trip to Cancun here.
Hopefully, now we're knock on wood, but we're gonna make
it locked up. Okay.
Well, y'all let Denver to move ahead of y'all.
That bye week, so that bye week's gonna matter a lot right now for us. We got to go in there, go back to the drawing board. The coaches, they really got to lock in. Justin Tucker, you better be practicing from 35 because he was missing extra points. And if we miss another extra point, it's over, guys. I'll tell you that right now. It's over.
So I appreciate that honesty, man. So what does this say about the Philadelphia Eagles looking at the other side of the ball? All right, we all understand that, yes, they pretty much have their division locked up in the AFC East, or the NFC East. But do you believe that they are now better or catching, as Griff said, catching fire at the right time to be more of a threat than the Detroit Lions?
That's a hard one right there. The Lions are a really, really good team all around. I feel like if the Lions played the Baltimore Ravens, they would probably put up more than 24 points. So I still got the Lions on top.
Okay.
I think the Eagles doing what they have to do to win the game. They still without the Slim Reaper, like Troy talked about. So just know that they beat the Baltimore without the Slim Reaper.
True.
And so because a totally different game if Devontae Smith is in there with AJ Brown. Totally different game. So my thing is just that the like what you just said, Jordan, Detroit just seemed like a more complete team, and they just seem to be running on all cylinders, whereas the Eagles, they doing just enough to win. And I want to say this, Drew, and I'm gonna shut up, is that this game again shows to me and proves to the league that, hey, we need to start valuing our running backs more than we've done here in the past year or so. We didn't put all this value on these quarterbacks and these receivers, but look at the teams that's doing the damage and what's getting them there. It's a good defense and a running game.
Yes, sir. And that's exactly where I was going to go because as we head into the next game, talk about the 49ers and the Bills, late in the season, what do you rely upon is a strong run game. That is what sets the Detroit Lions apart with Gibbs and Montgomery as that dual-headed monster. And that's what has Philadelphia where they are, with Saquon seeming to gain speed and power as the season goes along. So as long as Saquon is healthy, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be right there, 1-1 alpha with the Detroit Lions. And we shall see how the rest of the season unfolds for both of those teams.